My name's Mistry. I work for Wilmington PLC. We're a conglomerate of smaller companies, global based across US, UK, Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai as well. I used Concur before. I implemented it at one of my previous employments. The system we used at Wilmington was quite old, didn't have quite the good mobile technology, it was quite archaic looking. It looked like a finance system, which the end users are not always happy about. It wasn't very intuitive. And when the opportunity arose after doing some workshops with the businesses, I suggested we look at Concur as well. We did do the full RFP process, so we did look at other solutions as well, but Concur did come out the winner based on user acceptability, access, and a look and feel more than anything else. What we wanted was something that the users would be comfortable using and the ease of a solution. We didn't want something that was going to be troublesome, because that's where you find that people try not to then use the system correctly, or there's issues around it and that creates a negative feeling. So in order to get the best out of the solution, we wanted something that was easy, that was accessible, so that it was available on a mobile, so you didn't have to log onto your desktop. You could do everything from your phone, you could scan your receipts. That stopped a lot of the late claims that we used to have, and that causes out-of-pocket experience for the end users, so again that causes problems. By choosing Concur, we were able to make sure that people were able to put their claims in as they were happening, so that gave them a greater experience of that process. So with the expenses project, we actually took the chance to do some workshops with our business users, and we engaged with them and made them our Concur travel and expenses champions within the businesses. So they understood what they needed, because we understood it from a finance angle, what we wanted, but from an end user's point of view, we wanted to make sure that everybody's issues were at least listened to, if not implemented, or given them a solution to sort of cover how to do some of these complex expense claims that they would have done. So we used them, we actually had them in on our demos as well, so they were able to ask the Concur team right from the offset, questions, how do we do, what do we do? So that made them feel part of the process, which ultimately ended up with better engagement with our end users, so they all felt that they were part of that journey with us. The Concur implementation team were great at being able to provide videos and feedback to our end users on questions and provide training guides. So that did help our journey quite a lot. We reviewed what expenses we had. We actually did a review of our travel policy as well. So when we built Concur, we were able to incorporate all the new updates into that policy and remind people of that, because the policy was quite legal jargon before. So we took the opportunity to reword it into English speak. So it was quite straightforward. And by doing that, that helped the Concur audit team be able to verify our expenses with that language as well. So it was quite clear, there's no ambiguity around what a policy actually meant. So that helped us quite a bit as well. It took the pressure off of the accounts team for expenses. Audit did the first level of checking, and then the automatic flow to the approvers. So they weren't involved in that, so it takes that pressure away from accounts team that somebody's chasing an expense, or my manager has said it's okay, please just submit it. There's none of that pressure being put on them. So it took that away from them, which again eases up the flow of the expense claim. By getting them used to Concur expenses, it made them realise actually this was quite easy. It was easy to manage, easy to see, and easy to flow through on a claim. So once we started the purchase order and request project, they were already au fait with how to log in, what the system looked like. So it made that journey a little bit easier, because bringing in purchase ordering where an organisation never did it before, it felt like it was going to be a lot of work on the end users. But by giving them a solution that they were already familiar with, it did ease that burden a little bit. So with the invoice capture, it's meant that the suppliers are able to submit the invoice directly to Concur, which again eases that burden on the business where invoices were sent to an individual and they get lost in emails or sits on a desk and doesn't get processed, often leading to late payment. With the supplier sending them straight in, within about 48 hours, we have the invoice and it's sitting with the AP team so they can actually start matching that to the purchase order and then pushing that through the finance system to get the payment sorted. And also by having a purchase order number on the invoice, which is now mandatory, that means that it's already been pre-approved and it just makes that journey to payment a lot simpler and quicker. I think one of the expenses that we've been able to benefit from is the fuel for mileage. We never used to claim that before because it was just too much of a laborious task for manually working out receipts and petrol and diesel. But having the car mileage tracking and then fuel for mileage process in expense claims initially was a bit confusing for people, but once they got it, with the help of all the guides that we were giving out to them, it's become quite straightforward and simple for people to use.